Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soccer Showdown. Michael Holzer and Jersey Joe Archino back in action. We just kind of gave a little introduction, talked a little bit of soccer philosophy. Michael over here has done a lot in the soccer world, has trained with New York City FC. He's a pro, he's the captain of Iona College Soccer. So you know the game really well, and let's get into the UEFA Champions League, the matches yesterday. Obviously, right now we have Real Madrid. They are currently up 1-0 against Schalke 04. But yesterday we had PSG and Chelsea with a 1-1 draw, and we also had your beloved Bayern Munich. So let's start off with that one. What did you see in this 0-0 draw yesterday?
Yeah, but Bayern Munich was in the first half very dominant. They created a lot of chances, but they forgot to score a goal. And then
That's important right there.
And the second half, the Xabi Alonso got a red card, so it was a totally different game. And at the end, yeah, you should be happy with a tie. At least you didn't lose, because with 10 men, it's always tough, especially when you play like in Ukraine in this cold. So yeah, a 0-0 is not a bad result.
Let's talk about Bayern for a minute, though, because I think for a lot of people, it's a little bit harder, I think, for people to find the Bundesliga or locally. I mean, we all kind of rely on beIN Sports and NBC for the Premier League. But I think there's a perception that the Bundesliga is just dominated by Bayern Munich every single year. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, from the last year, Bayern Munich won, and the year before and the year before that, Borussia Dortmund won.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure if that's the case, but Borussia Dortmund is very bad this year. But of course, Bayern Munich is the best team and has been the best team in Germany. And yeah, it's obvious. Like in Spain, it's different. There's like Barcelona and Real Madrid. And you never know really who is the better team. But I have to agree that in Germany, Bayern Munich is by far the best team. But then all the other teams are kind of the same level. Some are a little bit better, some a little less. And the Bundesliga is a very competitive league. I feel like it's almost the most competitive league in the world, because the last spot can beat the first spot, and I'm not sure in Spain that's never going to happen.
And I completely agree with you there. I mean, when we look at La Liga, I mean, we all understand it's Real Madrid, it's Barcelona, Atletico Madrid is very good as well, but there's so many. I mean, there's such a big drop off after Atletico Madrid, and like you said, I'm not sure if we see that as much in the Bundesliga now. Like you said, Dortmund has had a really tough year. I mean, I believe they're almost in the relegation zone,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So very big drop off for them this year, but they are in the Champions League. They'll be playing Juventus next week, and we'll break that down when we get to there. But let's get to the other match. You had Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain, a 1-1 draw, a very exciting game, I thought. I mean, for the most part, it's what you would have thought. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain had a lot of chances, but Chelsea, we all understand, with Jose Mourinho, his teams are always so tactically sound, always so good defensively, and that really prevented a lot of good shots and good chances that PSG had. But when you look at Chelsea in this tournament right now, what's the biggest thing that sticks out to you?
About Chelsea? Yeah, Chelsea has always had a very good defense, and they have very good goalkeepers. They have two very good goalkeepers, so it's on this position, it's very hard for the coach to decide which goalkeeper should start. But yeah, Chelsea has a very good defense. Even the midfield is quality. And I can see Chelsea being really good this year in the Champions League. I just have a gut feeling that they can go very far. And I just wanted to mention, like I forgot to say before, that you can see like how good the Bundesliga is, that 4 teams from the Bundesliga are in the round 16 in the Champions League.
Yes.
And like 2 years before or 1 year before was a Champions League final of German teams. It was Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final. And yeah, so the Bundesliga definitely improved a lot.
You can't beat it. You really can't. And it's cool because I really like how we can kind of classify the differences between each league. We all understand the Premier League's a little bit more physical. The La Liga is a little bit more tactical. Serie A is a little bit more defensive-minded. What is the Bundesliga? What's the definitive kind of characteristic of it?
I mean, if you have to say something right now about the Bundesliga, is that all stadiums are always full. That's already
Yes.
like a big advantage. All the games are sold out, and in the La Liga, like you play like in front of maybe 3-4 thousand people. Like in the stadium is empty. But in Germany, it doesn't matter if you're last place, first place. All the stadiums are full and packed. That's already a big plus. And if I would be a player, I would always choose to play either in the Premier League or in the Bundesliga because I like to play in front of a big audience.
Very good. And what two more questions before we end this? I do want to ask you about Serie A because I hear from a lot of people, and I'm a big Serie A fan. I love AS Roma. That's my club. I love watching Juventus. I love watching Napoli. I really enjoy watching the league. But there's a lot of people who kind of consider Serie A little bit boring compared to the Premier League and La Liga and the Bundesliga because, like I said before, it is a little bit more defensive and it's not as flashy. In Germany, when you were back in Germany, what was kind of everyone's thoughts on watching Serie A?
I mean, there's always a word. It's called catenaccio,
Okay.
and that's a Italian word for like the kind of style Italian teams play. It's like sitting back, being tactical, organized,
Yes.
and that's not very exciting to watch. And that's probably one of the reasons why not a lot of people come watch the games. Because if they pay like $40 to watch a game, they want to see something nice or they want to get entertained. And I feel like in the Serie A sometimes it's not that entertaining. And the Serie A and especially the Italian national team, I feel like they've been not improving the last 5-6 years. It went a little bit down.
It definitely has.
Yeah, so yeah, because the Serie A used to be like a unbelievable good league, and with like the top players, like when AC Milan was in
Yeah.
its top, and Inter Milan, Juventus, AS Roma, Lazio, there were like five top teams, and now you can see where AC Milan and Inter
Oh
Milan.
my
They're
goodness,
like,
AC Milan is almost unwatchable this year. I mean, and like you said right there, that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed about Serie A this year is how many empty seats there are. I mean, I watch AS Roma almost every weekend, and I can't believe how many empty seats I see. And AS Roma is in second place in Serie A. I mean, it's kind of a two-way race. It's Juventus and it's AS Roma. It doesn't look like anybody's really going to catch Juve at this point. But still, I mean, Roma's a pretty good side. A lot of good players to go watch there. It's definitely very telling, and it's one thing the Bundesliga does so well. And same thing with La Liga and the Premier League is there's never an empty seat. You can't find an empty seat in those places.
I mean, another fact is also that the stadiums are all old.
Yes, that's true.
They don't
AC Milan is currently working out plans for a new one.
yeah, so most of the stadiums should be renovated, and that's probably also one of the reasons because it's not very comfortable probably to sit in these old stadiums.
Very good stuff. Now, the last one, obviously, right now we also have Real Madrid playing. I'm wearing the Ronaldo jersey right now. He is the one who scored the goal for them there at the half. But we will be back next week breaking down more soccer news, more UEFA Champions League. Michael, I've got to tell you right now, I can't contain my excitement for FC Barcelona, Manchester City. My favorite player, Messi, against my favorite club in Manchester City. I don't know what I'm going to do for this one. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean that's how the Champions League is. Like the Champions League is always the place where the best players play against each other, and yeah, I guess you have to sacrifice in that one and be for Manchester City and be against your favorite player because if soccer is a team sport, it's not an individual sport, so you should rooting for Manchester City and not for your favorite player.
That's a good point right there. See, I'm torn. I don't know what to do, but you summed it up well. Now, I know you got to run, but I can't kick you away right now because I have one more question. I'm enjoying talking with you too much. It's so much good content. The last thing I want to talk about is just the impact a manager can have because, like I keep saying, how big of a Manchester City guy I am. I think Manchester City has so much talent on their roster. I mean, they have so many good players, and Chelsea does as well. But I think when you look at the manager difference in Manuel Pellegrini at Manchester City, Jose Mourinho at Chelsea, is it talent better at City than Chelsea, but it's the manager at Chelsea that has the advantage there? How big of an impact does the manager really play into how effective the team is?
I just think that Manuel Pellegrini and Jose Mourinho have two different philosophies.
Okay.
I feel like Manuel Pellegrini is more attacking orientated. You can see that because he has so many good attacking players in his roster, and his defense is kind of only average, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah, and it's just the way Manchester City is. They're more attacking, and Chelsea is more defending. So I can't really say who's the better team. I mean, right now in the league, Chelsea is on top.
Chelsea is number one.
Because it says offense wins games and defense wins championships. So let's see if that statement is still correct at the end.
Absolutely. And Manchester City has all the firepower in the world. Sergio Aguero, we know how good is. Vincent Kompany has struggled a little bit getting back, but that's the defensive staple for Manchester City. Very exciting times here. Michael, thank you for joining me today. It was excellent doing this show with you.
Thank you a lot for myself as well. It was a pleasure to do this radio show with me.
Absolutely. Well, we will be back next week breaking down everything in the world of soccer. For Michael Holzer, Jersey Joe Archino, we are sending it off.